Chapter 1. The alarms blared through the corridors of Luna Ascendant, jolting Chief Security Officer Zara Calderon from her slumber. She leapt out of bed, her heart pounding, as she quickly donned her uniform and rushed to the command center. "What's the situation?" Zara demanded, bursting through the doors. "It's the life support systems, ma'am," Lieutenant Mikhail Petrov replied, his fingers frantically dancing across the holographic display. "They've been sabotaged. We're losing oxygen in sectors 3 and 5. Zara's mind raced. Who could be behind this? Luna Ascendant was supposed to be a haven, a place where humanity could thrive away from the troubles of Earth. She pushed the thoughts aside. There would be time for questions later. Right now, they needed to act. "Initiate emergency protocols," Zara commanded. "Seal off the affected sectors and redirect oxygen from the reserves. And get me eyes on those sectors now." The command center erupted into a flurry of activity as the staff worked to contain the crisis. Zara watched the live feeds, her eyes scanning for any signs of the saboteur. Suddenly, a flicker of movement caught her attention. "There!" she shouted, pointing at the screen. "Sector 5, Corridor B. Magnify that image." The video feed zoomed in, revealing a hooded figure tampering with the life support control panel. Zara's eyes narrowed. "Petrov, you're with me. The rest of you, keep working on those systems. We can't let this colony fall." Zara and Mikhail raced through the colony's winding passageways, their footsteps echoing off the metal walls. As they approached the saboteur's location, Zara motioned for Mikhail to take the other end of the corridor. They moved in sync, years of training guiding their steps. But as they converged on the spot, they found it empty. The saboteur had vanished, leaving only a discarded tool and a haunting message scrawled on the wall: "Luna Ascendant will fall." Zara stared at the words, a chill running down her spine. This was no random act of sabotage. There was something more sinister at play here, and she would stop at nothing to uncover the truth. As the colony's inhabitants gathered in the atrium, murmuring anxiously about the attack, Zara stepped forward to address them. "I know you're all frightened," she began, her voice steady and reassuring. "But we will find whoever is responsible for this cowardly act. Luna Ascendant is more than just a colony. It's our home, and we will defend it, together." The crowd erupted into cheers, their fear momentarily replaced by determination. Zara looked out at their faces, a mix of fear and resolve etched into their features. She knew the road ahead would be difficult, but she also knew that the strength of their community would see them through. As the gathering dispersed and the colonists returned to their duties, Zara turned to Mikhail. "This is just the beginning," she said grimly. "We need to be prepared for anything." Mikhail nodded, his jaw set. "We'll find them, ma'am, whatever it takes." Zara took a deep breath, steeling herself for the challenges to come. The shadows of sabotage had fallen over Luna Ascendant, but she would not rest until the colony was safe once more. Chapter 2. The sabotage attempt had left the colony on edge, and Zara knew she had to act quickly to uncover the truth. She convened an emergency meeting with her security team, determined to piece together the clues and identify the culprit. "What do we know so far?" Zara asked, her gaze sweeping over the room. Mikhail stepped forward, a holographic display flickering to life behind him. "We've analyzed the tool left behind by the saboteur. It's a standard-issue plasma cutter, but we've traced its serial number back to the engineering department." Zara's brow furrowed. "So, we're dealing with an inside job, someone with access to our systems and equipment." "It appears so, ma'am," Mikhail confirmed. "We're cross-referencing the department's personnel files now, looking for any red flags or suspicious activities." As the team delved deeper into the investigation, Zara couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The saboteur had struck with precise timing and knowledge of the colony's inner workings. This was no amateur operation. A commotion outside the meeting room drew Zara's attention. She stepped out to find a group of colonists gathered around a display screen, their faces etched with worry. On the screen, a chilling message played on a loop. "Luna Ascendant's days are numbered. Surrender control or face the consequences." Zara's heart sank. The saboteur was growing bolder, and now they were openly threatening the colony. She knew she had to act fast before panic spread through the population. "Mikhail, I want that message traced. Find out where it's coming from and who's behind it," Zara ordered, her voice steady despite the growing unease in her gut. As Mikhail set to work, Zara addressed the gathered colonists. I understand your concerns, but we must remain calm. Our security team is working tirelessly to identify the saboteur and ensure the safety of Luna Ascendant. Trust in each other, and we will weather this storm together. The colonists dispersed, but the tension in the air was palpable. Zara knew that time was of the essence. She had to find the saboteur before they could strike again and shatter the fragile peace of their lunar home. Back in the command center, Zara pored over the evidence, searching for any clue that could lead them to the culprit. Suddenly, Mikhail burst into the room, his face pale. "Ma'am, we've traced the message," he said, his voice trembling slightly. "It originated from within the colony's communication hub, and there's something else." Mikhail pulled up a personnel file on the display, and Zara's eyes widened in shock. The file belonged to none other than Dmitry Sokolov, the head of the engineering department and one of the colony's most respected members. "Dmitry? It can't be," Zara whispered, her mind reeling. "He's been with us since the beginning. Why would he turn against us now?" As the revelation sank in, Zara steeled herself for the confrontation to come. She had to confront Dmitry and uncover the truth behind his actions, no matter how painful it might be. With Mikhail by her side, Zara set out to find Dmitry and bring an end to the shadows of sabotage that threatened to destroy everything they had worked so hard to build on Luna Ascendant. Chapter 3. Zara and Mikhail made their way through the winding corridors of Luna Ascendant, their footsteps echoing in the eerie silence. The evidence against Dmitry was damning, but Zara couldn't help but feel a flicker of doubt. She had known Dmitry for years, and the thought of his betrayal was almost too much to bear. As they approached the engineering department, Zara's heart raced. She took a deep breath and stepped through the doors, Mikhail close behind. Dmitry looked up from his workstation, his eyes widening in surprise. "Zara, Mikhail, what brings you here at this hour?" Zara fixed him with a steely gaze. "Dmitry, we need to talk. There's been another sabotage attempt, and the evidence points to you." Dmitry's face paled. "What? That's impossible. I would never." Mikhail interrupted, his voice cold. "We traced the message back to your department, Dmitry. The tool used in the sabotage was one of yours. How do you explain that?" Dmitry's hands trembled as he ran them through his hair. I don't know. Someone must have stolen it, or maybe there's been a mistake." Zara stepped forward, her eyes searching Dmitry's face for any sign of deception. "Dmitry, if you know something, you need to tell us. The safety of the entire colony is at stake." Dmitry's shoulders slumped, and he let out a shaky breath. "I didn't want it to come to this, Zara. I never meant for anyone to get hurt." "What are you talking about?" Zara demanded, her heart sinking. "There's a group of us who believe that Luna Ascendant is heading in the wrong direction," Dmitry confessed. "We think the current leadership is too focused on expansion and not enough on sustainability. We just wanted to send a message, to make them see that we need to change course before it's too late." Zara's mind reeled. A secret faction within the colony, working against the leadership? It was almost too much to comprehend. "Dmitry, you should have come to us," Zara said, her voice softening. "We could have worked together to find a solution. Sabotage and threats are not the answer." Dmitry hung his head. "I know. I'm sorry, Zara. I never meant for it to go this far." Mikhail stepped forward, his eyes narrowed. "Who else is involved, Dmitry? We need names." Dmitry hesitated, his loyalty to his fellow conspirators warring with his sense of duty to the colony. Finally, he spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. "I can't give you names, but I can tell you where to find evidence. In my private quarters, there's a hidden compartment behind the bookshelf. You'll find everything you need there." Zara nodded, her heart heavy. "Thank you, Dmitry. We'll take it from here." As they left the engineering department, Zara's mind raced with the implications of Dmitry's revelation. A secret faction, a hidden agenda, and a colony on the brink of chaos. She knew that the coming days would test her leadership like never before. With Mikhail by her side, Zara set out to uncover the truth and bring the saboteurs to justice. The future of Luna Ascendant hung in the balance, and she would stop at nothing to protect her people and preserve the dream they had worked so hard to build. Chapter 4. Zara and Mikhail stood outside Dimitri's private quarters, their hearts pounding with anticipation. The weight of the situation hung heavy in the air as they prepared to uncover the evidence that could potentially shatter the fragile peace within Luna Ascendant. "Are you ready?" Mikhail asked, his hand hovering over the door panel. Zara took a deep breath and nodded. "Let's do this." As they stepped inside, the room appeared deceptively ordinary. Dimitri's personal belongings were neatly arranged, and the space was devoid of any obvious signs of suspicious activity. Mikhail made his way to the bookshelf, his fingers running along the spines of the books. "He said it was behind here, right?" Zara joined him, her eyes scanning the shelf. "Yes, a hidden compartment. Look for anything that seems out of place." They methodically searched the bookshelf, their frustration mounting with each passing moment. Just as Zara was about to suggest they look elsewhere, Mikhail's hand brushed against a small, almost imperceptible indent. "I think I found something," he said, his voice tinged with excitement. With a gentle push, the back panel of the shelf slid open, revealing a small, concealed space. Inside, a stack of documents and a data drive lay waiting. Zara reached in and retrieved the items, her hands trembling slightly. "Let's see what we've got." As they pored over the documents, a chilling picture began to emerge. Detailed plans for sabotage, lists of potential targets, and a manifesto outlining the faction's goals and motivations filled the pages. "They've been planning this for months," Mikhail whispered, his eyes wide with disbelief. Zara's heart sank as she recognized names of trusted colony members among the conspirators. "We need to act fast. If they realize we're onto them, they might escalate their plans." Mikhail nodded, his jaw set with determination. "We should take this evidence to the council. They need to know what we're up against." As they made their way through the colony's corridors, an uneasy silence settled between them. The weight of the revelations and the knowledge that they could trust no one hung heavy on their shoulders. Suddenly, the sound of hurried footsteps echoed behind them. Zara spun around, her hand instinctively reaching for her weapon. A figure emerged from the shadows, their face obscured by a hooded cloak. "You have something that belongs to us," a distorted voice demanded. Zara's heart raced as she realized the severity of the situation. The saboteurs were onto them, and they would stop at nothing to protect their secrets. "We know what you're planning," Zara said, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her veins. "It's over. Surrender now, and we can find a peaceful resolution." The figure laughed, a harsh, grating sound that sent shivers down Zara's spine. "You have no idea what you're up against. Luna Ascendant will fall, and there's nothing you can do to stop it." With a flash of movement, the figure lunged forward, a glint of metal in their hand. Zara and Mikhail sprung into action, their training kicking in as they fought to subdue their attacker. The struggle was brief but intense, and as the hooded figure lay unconscious at their feet, Zara and Mikhail exchanged a look of grim determination. "We need to get this evidence to the council," Zara said, her breath coming in short gasps, "and then we need to find the rest of the conspirators before they can do any more damage." As they hurried through the colony, the weight of the task ahead settled on their shoulders. The battle for Luna Ascendant's future had only just begun, and Zara knew that the coming days would test the strength and resilience of the colony like never before. Chapter 5. The council chamber buzzed with tension as Zara and Mikhail presented their findings. The evidence they had gathered from Dimitri's quarters lay spread out on the table before them, a damning testament to the depth of the conspiracy that threatened Luna Ascendant. Council members exchanged uneasy glances as they processed the information, their faces etched with a mixture of disbelief and concern. Governor Eliza Nakamura, the colony's leader, leaned forward, her eyes narrowed as she studied the documents. "This is deeply troubling," she said, her voice tight with controlled anger. "We must act swiftly to ensure the safety of our people and the stability of our colony." Zara nodded, her heart pounding with a sense of urgency. "We believe the saboteurs are planning another attack, one that could cripple our life support systems. We need to find them before it's too late." Governor Nakamura turned to the council members. "I want every available resource devoted to this investigation. Work with Chief Calderon and Lieutenant Petrov to track down these conspirators and bring them to justice." As the council members dispersed to carry out their tasks, Zara and Mikhail found themselves alone in the chamber. The weight of the responsibility they carried settled heavily on their shoulders. "We need to start by questioning Dmitri further," Mikhail suggested, his brow furrowed in thought. He might have more information about the faction's plans and members. Zara agreed, but a nagging doubt tugged at the back of her mind. "We should also look into the backgrounds of the other conspirators. There might be a pattern or connection we're missing." As they made their way to the detention center where Dmitri was being held, a sudden commotion erupted in the corridor ahead. Shouts and the sound of running footsteps echoed off the metal walls. Zara and Mikhail exchanged a quick glance before sprinting towards the disturbance. As they rounded the corner, they froze in their tracks, their eyes widening at the scene before them. A group of armed colonists, their faces hidden behind masks, had overpowered the guards and were in the process of freeing Dmitri from his cell. The head of engineering looked up, his eyes meeting Zara's with a mixture of defiance and regret. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice barely audible above the chaos. "But we can't let you stop us. Lunar Ascendant needs to change, and we're the only ones who can make it happen." Zara stepped forward, her hand on her weapon. "Dmitri, think about what you're doing. This isn't the way to bring about change. We can work together, find a peaceful solution." But Dmitri shook his head, a sad smile playing on his lips. "It's too late for that. The wheels are already in motion. You can't stop what's coming." With a final nod to his fellow conspirators, Dmitri disappeared into the crowd, leaving Zara and Mikhail standing helplessly in the corridor. As the alarms began to blare and the colony descended into chaos, Zara felt a sense of dread settle in the pit of her stomach. The saboteurs had made their move, and now it was a race against time to stop them before they could bring about the downfall of Lunar Ascendant. Turning to Mikhail, Zara set her jaw with determination. "We need to find them fast. The future of our colony depends on it." Chapter 6. The air in Lunar Ascendant crackled with tension as Zara and Mikhail raced through the colony's winding corridors. The escape of Dmitri and his fellow conspirators had plunged the once peaceful settlement into a state of panic and uncertainty. "We need to split up," Zara said, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. "You take a team and search the engineering sector. I'll lead another group to secure the life support systems." Mikhail nodded, his eyes filled with a fierce determination. "Stay safe out there, Zara. These saboteurs are desperate and dangerous." With a brief squeeze of his hand, Zara turned and headed towards the Life Support Control Center, a team of loyal security officers falling into step behind her. The weight of the colony's fate pressed down on her shoulders, but she refused to let it crush her spirit. As they approached the control center, an eerie silence enveloped the area. The usual hum of machinery and the chatter of technicians were conspicuously absent, replaced by an oppressive stillness that set Zara's nerves on edge. Signaling her team to take up defensive positions, Zara cautiously entered the control room. The sight that greeted her made her blood run cold. The mainframes that regulated the colony's life support systems had been torn apart, their components scattered across the floor like the entrails of a gutted animal. In the center of the chaos stood a figure in a hooded cloak, their back turned to Zara. As she raised her weapon, the figure slowly turned, revealing the face of Elena Ivanova, one of the colony's most respected scientists. "Elena?" Zara gasped, her mind reeling from the revelation. "You're part of this?" Elena's eyes glittered with a fervor that bordered on madness. "You don't understand, Zara. Lunar Ascendant is stagnating under the current leadership. We need to take drastic measures to ensure our survival." Zara shook her head, her grip tightening on her weapon. "This isn't survival, Elena. This is sabotage, plain and simple. You're putting everyone's lives at risk." "Sometimes, sacrifices must be made for the greater good," Elena replied, her voice cold and unyielding. "Lunar Ascendant will be reborn from the ashes, stronger and more resilient than ever." With a sudden movement, Elena reached for a concealed device, but Zara was faster. A pulse of energy from her weapon sent Elena crumpling to the ground, unconscious. As her team moved in to secure the area and assess the damage, Zara's comm unit crackled to life. It was Mikhail, his voice strained with urgency. "Zara, We've managed to detain most of the conspirators in the engineering sector, but Dmitri is still at large. He's threatening to overload the fusion reactors if we don't meet his demands. A chill ran down Zara's spine as she realized the gravity of the situation. If Dmitri succeeded, the resulting explosion would tear Lunar Ascendant apart, killing everyone inside. "I'm on my way," she said, already moving towards the exit. "We can't let him succeed, Mikhail. The fate of the colony rests on our shoulders." As she raced through the corridors, Zara's mind whirled with possibilities and strategies. She knew that the next few hours would be critical, and a desperate battle against time and a determined enemy. But deep down, she also knew that the true fight was just beginning. The saboteurs had shown their hand, and now it was up to her and Mikhail to unravel the full extent of the conspiracy and ensure that Lunar Ascendant emerged stronger and more united than ever before. The future of the colony hung in the balance, and Zara was determined not to let it fall. Chapter 7. Zara burst into the reactor control room, her heart pounding in her chest. The room was bathed in an eerie red glow, and the air was thick with the hum of machinery. At the center of the room stood Dmitri, his hand poised over the control panel, a triumphant smile on his face. "Ah, Chief Calderon," he said, his voice dripping with malice. "I was wondering when you'd arrive." Zara leveled her weapon at him, her eyes narrowed. "Step away from the controls, Dmitri. It's over." Dmitri laughed, a harsh, grating sound that echoed off the metal walls. "Over? No, my dear Zara, it's only just beginning. Lunar Ascendant will be reborn, and I will be the one to lead it into a new era." "You're delusional if you think sabotaging the colony will lead to anything good," Zara retorted, edging closer. "All you'll accomplish is death and destruction." "Sometimes destruction is necessary for creation," Dmitri said, his finger hovering over the control panel. "The current leadership is weak, too focused on petty squabbles and short-term gains. They lack the vision to truly make Lunar Ascendant great." Zara shook her head, disgust etched on her features. "And you think you have that vision? All I see is a traitor willing to sacrifice innocent lives for his own twisted ambitions." Dmitri's face contorted with rage. "I am no traitor. I am a visionary, a savior, and you, Zara Calderon, are nothing more than a puppet of the corrupt establishment." With a snarl, he lunged for the control panel, but Zara was faster. She fired her weapon, the pulse of energy striking Dmitri in the chest and sending him flying backward. He crashed to the ground, his body convulsing as the stun charge coursed through his system. Zara moved quickly, securing Dmitri and radioing for backup. As she stood over his prone form, she couldn't help but feel a twinge of sadness. Dmitri had once been a respected member of the community, a brilliant engineer with a promising future. But somewhere along the line, his ideals had become twisted, his ambition consuming him until he was willing to destroy everything he had once held dear. As reinforcements flooded into the room, Zara stepped back, her mind racing. The immediate threat had been neutralized, but she knew that the battle was far from over. The conspiracy had run deeper than anyone had suspected, and rooting out all of the saboteurs would be a long and arduous process. But as she looked around at the determined faces of her fellow colonists, Zara felt a flicker of hope. Lunar Ascendant had weathered this storm, and they would weather the ones to come. They were a resilient people, united by a common dream of building a better future among the stars. And with leaders like Zara and Mikhail at the helm, that dream was still within reach. They would rebuild, stronger and wiser than before. They would learn from their mistakes and forge ahead, determined to create a society that lived up to the highest ideals of human progress and innovation. The road ahead would be long and fraught with challenges, but Zara knew that they would face them together, as a colony, as a family. Lunar Ascendant would rise again, a beacon of hope and a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity. Chapter 8. The aftermath of Dmitri's capture was a whirlwind of activity. Zara and Mikhail worked tirelessly to coordinate the efforts of the security team, ensuring that all of the conspirators were rounded up and brought to justice. As the dust settled, Governor Nakamura called for a colony-wide assembly. The atrium was packed with anxious faces, the air thick with tension and uncertainty. Zara stood beside the governor on the raised platform, her eyes scanning the crowd. She could see the fear and confusion in their eyes, the unspoken questions hanging heavy in the air. Governor Nakamura stepped forward, her voice ringing out clear and strong. People of Luna Ascendant, we have faced a great challenge in these past few days. Our very way of life was threatened by those who sought to destroy it from within. A murmur rippled through the crowd, and Zara could feel the weight of their gaze upon her. But thanks to the tireless efforts of Chief Calderon and her team, the saboteurs have been captured and will face justice for their crimes. Governor Nakamura paused, letting her words sink in. However, the road ahead will not be easy. We must rebuild not only our infrastructure, but also our trust in one another. Zara stepped forward, her heart pounding in her chest. I know that many of you are afraid and unsure of what the future holds, but I want you to know that we will face these challenges together, as a community. She took a deep breath, her eyes locking with those of the colonists before her. In the coming days and weeks, we will be working to strengthen our security measures and ensure that something like this never happens again. But more importantly, we will be working to rebuild the bonds of trust and cooperation that have always been the cornerstone of our society. Heads nodded in agreement, and Zara could feel a sense of unity beginning to take hold. We are Luna Ascendant, she continued, her voice growing stronger with each word. We are a beacon of hope and progress in a universe that often seems dark and unforgiving. And no matter what challenges we face, we will face them together, with courage and determination. As the assembly drew to a close, Zara could feel a newfound sense of purpose taking root within her. The battle against the saboteurs had been won, but the true work of rebuilding and healing was only just beginning. In the days that followed, Zara threw herself into the task at hand. She worked closely with Mikhail and the other department heads to assess the damage and prioritize repairs. She met with colonists from all walks of life, listening to their concerns and ideas for the future. And slowly but surely, Luna Ascendant began to heal. The scars left by the saboteurs would never fully fade, but the colony emerged stronger and more united than ever before. As Zara stood on the observation deck, looking out over the vast expanse of the lunar landscape, she felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. They had faced the darkness and emerged victorious, a testament to the resilience and determination of the human spirit. And she knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, Luna Ascendant would rise to meet them, for they were a community, a family, bound together by a shared vision of a better future for all. Chapter 9. Rising from the Ashes. In the weeks following the saboteur crisis, Luna Ascendant buzzed with activity as the colonists worked to repair the damage and fortify their home against future threats. Zara and Mikhail led the charge, coordinating efforts across every department to ensure a swift and efficient recovery. As the physical wounds began to heal, Zara turned her attention to the emotional scars left behind by the betrayal. She organized community meetings and counseling sessions, providing a safe space for colonists to express their fears and concerns. We've been through a lot, Zara acknowledged, addressing a group of residents in the atrium. But we cannot let this experience divide us. We must learn from it, grow from it, and emerge stronger than ever before. Heads nodded in agreement, and Zara could see the determination in their eyes. They were ready to fight for their home, their family. Meanwhile, Mikhail worked closely with the engineering team to upgrade the colony's security systems. They implemented new protocols and fail-safes, ensuring that no one individual could ever again threaten the safety of Luna Ascendant. As the days turned into weeks, the colony began to thrive once more. The hydroponics bays were bursting with fresh produce, the research labs hummed with innovative projects, and laughter could be heard echoing through the halls once again. One evening, as Zara walked through the residential sector, she came across a group of children playing in the corridor. They were reenacting the saboteur crisis, with one child playing the role of Zara, bravely standing up to the bad guys. Zara smiled, her heart swelling with pride. These children were the future of Luna Ascendant, and they would grow up knowing the strength and resilience of their community. As she continued on her way, Zara's thoughts turned to the future. There were still challenges ahead, she knew. The saboteur crisis had exposed vulnerabilities in their society that would need to be addressed. But Zara also knew that Luna Ascendant was up to the task. They had faced the unimaginable and come out the other side, united in their determination to build a better world. And with each passing day, as the colony grew and thrived, Zara could feel a sense of hope taking root within her. They had proven that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit could rise above and create something beautiful. As she looked out over the lunar landscape, the Earth hanging like a jewel in the sky above, Zara knew that Luna Ascendant was more than just a colony. It was a symbol of what humanity could achieve when they worked together, when they dared to dream of a better future. And she knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, Luna Ascendant would face them head-on, with courage, determination, and an unshakable belief in the power of the human spirit to overcome even the greatest of odds. Chapter 10. Forging a New Path. As Luna Ascendant settled into a new normal, Zara found herself grappling with the weight of her responsibilities. The colony had weathered the storm, but the scars left behind by the Sabotage crisis were still fresh, and trust was a fragile thing. Zara knew that the key to moving forward was transparency. She began holding regular town hall meetings, inviting colonists to voice their concerns and ideas for the future. "We have to learn from our mistakes," she said, addressing a packed auditorium. "We can't let fear and suspicion rule us. We have to build a society based on openness, honesty, and mutual respect." The colonists nodded in agreement, and Zara could see a glimmer of hope in their eyes. They were ready to put in the work, to forge a new path forward. But even as the colony began to heal, new challenges emerged. A series of technical glitches plagued the life support systems, and rumors of sabotage began to circulate once more. Zara and Mikhail worked tirelessly to investigate the incidents, tracing the problem back to a faulty batch of replacement parts. It was a reminder that even in the best of times, vigilance was key. As the weeks turned into months, Zara watched with pride as Luna Ascendant began to thrive in ways she had never imagined. The colony's scientists made groundbreaking discoveries in fields ranging from medicine to materials science, and the arts and culture scene blossomed like a flower in the lunar soil. But perhaps the most inspiring development was the way the colonists came together to support one another. Neighbors checked in on each other, sharing meals and stories. Children played together in the corridors, their laughter a balm for wounded hearts. One evening, as Zara walked through the atrium, she came across a group of colonists gathered around a makeshift stage. They were putting on a play, a dramatic retelling of the Sabotage crisis. As Zara watched, she was struck by the resilience and creativity of her fellow colonists. Even in the face of unimaginable adversity, they had found a way to come together, to heal, to create something beautiful. And as the final scene played out, with the actors portraying Zara and Mikhail standing tall and proud, Zara felt a lump form in her throat. They had come so far, had overcome so much, and yet there was still so much more to do. But Zara knew that they were up to the challenge. Luna Ascendant was more than just a colony. It was a testament to the indomitable human spirit, to the power of hope and determination in the face of even the darkest of times. As the play ended and the audience erupted in applause, Zara closed her eyes and took a deep breath. The road ahead would not be easy, she knew. There would be obstacles and setbacks, moments of doubt and fear. But as long as they had each other, as long as they held fast to their ideals and their dreams, Zara knew that there was nothing they couldn't achieve. Luna Ascendant would continue to rise, to reach for the stars, and to light the way for generations to come. Chapter 11. Echoes of the Past. As Luna Ascendant continued to thrive and grow, Zara found herself increasingly occupied with the day-to-day responsibilities of leading the colony. She spent her days in meetings with department heads, reviewing progress reports, and addressing the concerns of the colonists. One morning, as she sat in her office reviewing a proposal for a new hydroponics facility, a message from Mikhail flashed across her screen. "Urgent. Meet me in the communications hub. We have a situation." Zara felt a familiar sense of dread wash over her as she made her way to the hub. When she arrived, she found Mikhail hunched over a console, his brow furrowed in concentration. "What's going on?" she asked, her voice tight with concern. Mikhail looked up, his expression grave. "We've intercepted a message from an unknown source," he said. "It's a distress signal, but there's something odd about it." He tapped a few keys on the console, and a garbled audio message began to play. At first, Zara couldn't make out the words, but as she listened more closely, a chill ran down her spine. "This is Dr. Elena Ivanova," the voice said, distorted by static. "I'm sending this message from a remote outpost on the far side of the moon. We've uncovered something that changes everything. Luna Ascendant is in danger. You must." The message cut off abruptly, leaving Zara and Mikhail staring at each other in stunned silence. "Elena Ivanova?" Zara said, her mind racing. "But she's been in custody since the Saboteur crisis. How could she be sending a message from a remote outpost?" Mikhail shook his head. "I don't know, but we need to find out. If there's even a chance that this message is genuine, we can't ignore it." Zara nodded, her resolve hardening. "Assemble a team," she said. "We're going to investigate this outpost and find out what's going on." As they prepared for the mission, Zara couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the verge of uncovering something momentous. The message from Elena had stirred up memories of the Saboteur crisis, and Zara couldn't help but wonder if the two were connected somehow. The journey to the remote outpost was long and treacherous, taking them through the desolate lunar landscape and into uncharted territory. But when they finally arrived, what they found left them speechless. The outpost was abandoned, its structures crumbling and its equipment scattered. But in the center of the compound, they discovered a hidden chamber, sealed behind a massive blast door. Inside, they found a treasure trove of data and artifacts, evidence of a secret project that had been underway for years. And at the heart of it all was a single cryptic message scrawled on the wall in Elena's handwriting. "The truth will set us free," it read. As Zara and her team pored over the data, a picture began to emerge. The Saboteur crisis had been just the tip of the iceberg, a smokescreen for a much deeper conspiracy that threatened the very foundations of Luna Ascendant. Zara knew that they had stumbled onto something big, something that would change the course of the colony's future. But as she looked around at the determined faces of her team, she also knew that they were ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. Together, they would unravel the mystery, expose the truth, and forge a new path forward for Luna Ascendant. The echoes of the past would guide them, but it was up to them to shape the future. Chapter 12. The Hidden Truth. Zara and her team worked tirelessly to uncover the secrets hidden within the abandoned outpost. They pored over the data, piecing together fragments of information to form a clearer picture of the conspiracy that had been lurking in the shadows of Luna Ascendant. As they delved deeper into the mystery, a shocking revelation emerged. The Saboteur crisis had been orchestrated by a group of individuals who believed that the colony had strayed from its original purpose. They saw the emphasis on expansion and technological advancement as a betrayal of the ideals upon which Luna Ascendant had been founded. At the center of this group was none other than Dr. Elena Ivanova herself. The evidence suggested that she had masterminded the sabotage attempts as a way to force the colony's leadership to confront the consequences of their actions. But there was more to the story than met the eye. The artifacts and data they had discovered pointed to a larger truth, one that had been buried for years. It seemed that the founders of Luna Ascendant had harbored a secret agenda, one that went beyond the noble goal of establishing a new home for humanity on the moon. Zara and her team worked to decipher the clues, piecing together a picture of a world they had never imagined. The founders had been part of a clandestine organization, one that had been working behind the scenes to shape the course of human history. Luna Ascendant was meant to be more than just a colony. It was to be a testing ground for new technologies and social structures that could be used to mold the future of humanity itself. As the truth began to emerge, Zara found herself grappling with the implications of what they had discovered. She knew that the information they had uncovered could tear the colony apart, shattering the trust and unity that had been so hard-won in the aftermath of the Saboteur crisis. But she also knew that the truth had to be brought to light. The people of Luna Ascendant deserved to know the reality of the world they had built and the legacy they had inherited. Zara called a meeting of the colony's leadership, where she presented the evidence they had uncovered. There were gasps of shock and disbelief as the truth was laid bare, but Zara remained steadfast in her conviction that the only way forward was through transparency and honesty. In the days that followed, the colony was rocked by the revelations. Some reacted with anger and betrayal, while others saw it as an opportunity to forge a new path, one that was true to the ideals that had brought them to the moon in the first place. Through it all, Zara worked tirelessly to hold the colony together, to remind them of the bonds that united them and the dream that had brought them to this moment. She knew that the road ahead would be difficult, but she also knew that Lunar Ascendant had the strength and resilience to weather any storm. As the colony began to heal and rebuild, Zara looked to the future with a renewed sense of purpose. The truth had set them free, but it was up to them to decide what to do with that freedom. Together, they would chart a new course for Lunar Ascendant, one that honored the past while embracing the possibilities of the future. And as she looked out over the lunar landscape, Zara knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them as a community, united by the unbreakable bonds of hope, determination, and the indomitable human spirit.